I'm Anthony Kuo from the Irvine City Council. This year, for our 50th anniversary, we're highlighting individuals who are leading and serving in our community and building upon a base of having grown up in this community as well. Today, we'll be hearing from Julie Hudash from Team Kids.
So our family moved here in 1975, and I was 10 years old. We actually lived in Fountain Valley, and I heard we were moving to Irvine. I was so excited just to have a new start in a new city. And some of our neighbors actually said, Irvine is a farm. Are you moving to a farm? And I remember actually being kind of excited to live on a farm and asked my mom, are we moving to a farm? And in fact, while it wasn't a farm, it looked very different than it does today. There were a lot of cows and lots of orange trees, and it was such a great place to grow up. So I was in 5th grade, Vista Verde. So I started Vista Verde. It was the bicentennial year, which is, I remember so much, the bicentennial, and I had a red corduroy jumper. I was so proud, a big flag at our school pictures. So I went to Vista Verde, and I went to University Park, I went to Rancho, and then I went to University High School. It was so nice. We live in University Park, and just having a pool and a diving board. I actually loved to swim and dive, which I did a little bit in high school. But just being outside with a beautiful park, it was before the internet and all those things, so lots of tag and hide and seek, and it was just an amazing, amazing place to grow up. We would ride our bikes up to Carl's, and it used to be Damber Drugs, which is now Rite Aid, and El Rancho, like all of the restaurant, all of the stores, but we spent a lot of time riding our bikes. I remember in high school when the Woodbridge Theater opened up. I mean, that was just over the top exciting. I remember waiting in a big long line, and it was just so exciting to officially have a movie theater in our city. That was kind of like Irvine made it when we had our first theater. It's interesting, when I was young, I wasn't involved in sports at all. So I wasn't like ASO, a lot of kids. That was when it was just kind of starting in the 70s. And I had such a great childhood. I played, I had a lot of free time. Until I was in high school, and I was actually on the diving team for a year, and then I went out for track and cross country. And that actually just became my life. I ran for uni, I ran the mile, and was an All-American my senior year. So sports became a huge part of my life, and a beautiful way to see the city. I always say the prettiest part of Irvine you can't see from a car. You need a bike or running. So I really grew up running on all of these trails with my high school teammates from uni who are still some of my closest friends. So being at uni, being part of a team was such an amazing experience here as a teenager, for sure. Took all my spare time, for sure. We lived in Arizona, Sacramento, and we lived in Denver, Colorado, which was beautiful, St. Louis, Missouri, and we lived in West Des Moines, Iowa. And there was an opportunity with my husband's job to come back, and it was really the vision, ultimately, to come back, to be back in Orange County where my family is. When the opportunity arose, that's been 22 years, we actually not only moved back to Orange County, not only moved back to Irvine, but we bought the house I grew up in. So we bought the house 22 years ago, again, that I grew up in. We brought our 5 kids. So my husband and I have 5 amazing kids who are grown up now, and they all not only grew up in the house that I grew up in, they went to Vista Verde, and they went to University High School. All 5 graduated from University High School. So it's been an amazing experience here in Irvine, not only growing up here, but also moving away. I learned a lot about why Irvine is so special, because I lived very far away. I love the education. I love that it's such a safe community. I love that it's diverse. I love that my kids meet kids and grew up with kids that had different sounding names and different cultures, and it was such a rich, rich environment for our kids to grow up. I I started in the corporate world. I learned a lot of things that helped me in my new career path, for sure. I don't think I could have started a nonprofit, which is what I did. It's called Team Kids, had I not had the corporate experience first. But when I was working just in the corporate world, I was not fulfilled. I always wanted, even when I was a kid, I wanted to do work that made a difference for kids. I always say I was a youth advocate when I was a youth. I just always stuck up for kids and I guess just really appreciated the power young people have. I went to graduate school, but didn't finish. We were having our third child, but studied my master's in education and really was fascinated with where we lose kids, where we can invest in kids in feeling safe and feeling connected and knowing they matter, that they're significant, they have a role to play, and the power of that. And so really interested in that kind of prevention and empowerment. And so I created Team Kids here in Irvine in 2001, just months before September 11th. We're celebrating our 20th, which is pretty remarkable considering I was a child here before then. Team Kids is really the brainchild of bringing together every key stakeholder in a community to not only invest in our kids in leadership and empathy, self-efficacy. Team Kids was founded alongside our incredible partners from the city of Irvine, from Irvine Police Department, from Orange County Fire Authority, Irvine Unified School District, and UCI. So what we found after 20 years is we're not only empowering the future of kids, but we're empowering entire communities. And in my opinion, there's nothing more important than building trusting relationships and investing in our youngest leaders. Here in Irvine, kids know what Team Kids is. They know, they've grown up in it. I have several staff members who started at age 7 or 8 and are now on our staff. One example, Seamus McConville, he was 7 or 8 years old, went through the Team Kids Challenge program, was on our leadership team all through youth council, all through high school, and then went to Notre Dame and was a chaperone for our high school students. And he ended up graduating, getting a CPA. He's my board treasurer today. So I think the impact in Irvine is one that's really transformational. This 20th year is a really big one. Now that we have our empirically validated data, we're really working on kind of completing our national model. And our national model is really based on a university partnership. So it's education, public safety. UCI is the driver of our success. We have probably had about 200 interns from UCI over the last 20 years. Typically 90% of my staff, our Team Kids coaches who teach in the school, they're all previous UCI interns. So what we've really learned from our board of directors is we need to scale this program based on a university partnership. So we're mobilizing our university interns as our staff to teach in the schools, which increases the likelihood actually of young people going to college because they meet college students and they have a connection. With it being our 20th anniversary, there's so many incredible ways to get involved, and one is obviously by going to our website and contacting us. We kind of have a unique opportunity for our public safety, our educators, volunteers to get involved. If you want your kids to get involved in service throughout the year and they're not at Team Kids school, they can get involved in our service program. But on our business side, this is a great opportunity to donate money to support this mission as we're scaling. Team Kids is very unique in the sense that I don't believe that leadership should come with a price tag. And if it did, we wouldn't be in communities like Compton and East New York. So we run all of our programs in schools and for kids at no cost. Kids raise about $80,000 a year in cash and resources, and every single penny goes to whatever charity they vote on, so we don't keep any of that money. So it's really the generosity of our donors that help that scale. Being in Irvine has been a great asset. We have so many corporate partners that have been here with us from the beginning, from Wells Fargo to Starbucks, Mechanics Bank, and all the way to like Macquarie Bank and Morgan Stanley in Manhattan. But it all grew here with these regional corporate partners that are based here in Irvine, and they serve on our board. We have an esteemed board of directors and help us create our strategic plan, and our organization is all based on our fiscal year budget. So it's very much like a business in terms of the professionalism. I always just say at the bottom line in a corporation is how much money you make, right? So at Team Kids, the real difference is we measure our success and how many lives we've changed.